Ah, so you've returned once more. Well, it's good to see you. Especially since this week I've got something of a public service message for all the dungeon masters out there. Because, you see, experience isn't just for adventurers. The longer you sit behind the screen, the more adept you become at handling the power and responsibility of your position. For those looking for a shortcut to greatness, though, you can start by making sure you aren't making the following mistakes. And if you are making them, consider some of my suggested solutions. Adventurers are dangerous creatures, but they can become more so if confronted with a threat. All it takes is a bard playing their battle hymn, the cleric offering a blessing, and the hitters downing a potion or two for dangerous to become outright brutal. For a couple of minutes at least, until the magic wears off. Most of the time, though, these merry bands of thugs need to scramble for a few rounds to get all their buffs in a row. If you're constantly tipping them off that a fight is coming, though, then they're going to take a few minutes to primp and preen before kicking open the door marked "Danger, powerful minion ahead." If you fear that pre-buffing is an issue, then you have two choices for minimizing it. The first is to quit tipping your hand, because slowly approaching footsteps from a darkened hallway might make for good theater, but it also means in the half-dozen seconds your Minotaur took to make his grand entrance, he gave an experienced kill squad all the time they needed to get ready for him. What I'm saying is, use an ambush or two. It keeps adventurers on their toes. The second solution for this problem is to keep careful track of effective rounds, because a barbarian's rage, a bard's inspiration, and the wizard's protective spells only last for a limited period of time. So if they start the timer before rushing into your sanctum, wait a minute or so before you step out of cover. This would teach them a valuable lesson about conserving resources, unless they're absolutely certain it's time to throw down. There's something appealing about getting yourself a guard beast. Whether it's an acid-breathing hydra or a mutated owlbear, it's tempting to spend a big part of your budget on getting that one big bruiser. However, while it might look impressive sitting in your dungeon, the math isn't on your side if you go that route. Let me break it down for you. Say your big bad, whoever or whatever it is alone in a room with several unwelcome guests. If you spent your coin wisely, your guy might get 2 or 3 actions on its round. Even if there's a small band, there are probably 4 of them. At the best, they'll only get 4 actions. But those adventurers will probably have more, and that's before you include reactions, bonus actions, or whatever other actions they've got up their sleeves. If you want to stop your security system from getting clobbered, you need to even up your action economy. Whether that's splitting your big monster into 2 or 3 creatures, or just adding a few warm bodies for combat support, you need to make sure you don't get overwhelmed by superior numbers. A lot of dungeon masters like to build their challenges around a theme. You know, like how a lich will have 100 flavors of undead in his citadel, or how a master tinker will have a dozen varieties of constructs keeping watch. While that can be great for dramatic purposes, you often sacrifice efficiency as a result. The answer in this situation is to present a balanced breakfast of dangerous options. For example, it's perfectly fine to fill your outer periphery with undead sentries. They never sleep, they never eat, and they won't get caught sneaking off to use the privy in the middle of the night. But if a dedicated gang of cutthroats prepared for that, with holy water and undead bane weapons, then throwing bigger, badder zombies at them isn't going to help. Instead, make constructs and traps your second line of defense, while keeping a team of crack bodyguards on hand to keep your person safe. Don't put all your faith in one type of security. Instead, blend them together for maximum efficacy. Good help is hard to find, and a lot of dungeon masters have to make do with whoever or whatever they can press gang into service. That's why so many hideouts and lairs are filled with what most people think of as cannon fodder. You know, kobolds, orcs, bandits, and the like. When it comes to getting value for your investment, though, you don't necessarily need to buy more powerful minions. Just train the ones you have to use some strategy and to work together as a team. You know, just like adventurers do. You don't have to take my word for it, though. The next time a group breaks into your den, have an orc strike force take them out. Stay behind cover, pin the interlopers down, and extinguish their light sources. Once the torches are out, move in under cover of darkness and press your advantage. One minion by themselves may not be much of a challenge. A dozen of them working in concert and following a strategic plan can be a brunch time in hell. If you're running a dungeon, whether it's abandoned camp in the heart of the woods or a devil's lair in a thousand-year-old ruin, you need to be aware of your surroundings. Because if a contingent of troublemakers takes you unawares, then you've already lost half the battle. Most dungeon masters have sentries, but you need to go further than that. If there are towns near you, set up a network of spies and informants. Whether some punks are trying to clean out your kind, or a reward is drawing a crowd of sellswords, you want to have inside information about them before they so much as leave the tavern. How you get your information doesn't matter as long as you follow what's going on in the wider world. You could use divination magic to find threats before they arrive. You could put scouts out near all major trails, or just head down to the local watering hole from time to time and listen to what the bards have to say. Whatever method suits you, just don't get caught with your pants down. That's all the advice I have to share today. Remember, it's tough keeping your hordes in line while building to the crescendo of your plan. Don't make it too easy for those who want to stop you. If you felt this was good advice, or you know a dungeon master who needs to hear it, then like and share the video. While you're at it, subscribe to the page, and if you want to help us keep making content just like this, check out our Patreon page in the description below. Or buy us a coffee, that works too.